Ladies and gentlemen, Mambo number 5.
Interviewed Donald Trump, and she asked him a very interesting question. She asked him why he didn't pardon Julian Assange or Edward Snowden, the NSA whistleblower. Let's take a look at the clip.
I want to ask you, in terms of talking about this corruption, by the way, name that comes to mind in the news recently is Julian Assange. You know, he was exposing this corruption early on. He's had his life ruined because of it. It's a really sad story. Edward Snowden, I mean, think about that bravery. For me, I was quite young when that was going on. But, I mean, the idea of saying, hey, whistleblowing, actually, we've got some corruption going on. They're not being honest.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? What the hell did Donald Trump just laugh about? Oh, I was very young. He was quite courageous. What part was funny, Donald? What part of that was funny?
The American people. You could have had a chance to pardon these individuals. Why decide not to in that moment?
You have two sides of it. In one case, you have like sort of a spy deal going on, and in another,
you got two sides of the thing. You got two sides, right? There's good people on both sides, right? Like in Charlottesville, there's World War II, the Americans versus the Nazis. There's good folks on both sides, right, Donald?
in the case you have somebody that's exposing real corruption.
Right.
I feel a little bit, I won't say which one, but I feel a little bit more strongly about one than the other.
Right.
And you probably understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yep, she understands that. He likes one more than the other. Candace gets it. I don't know which one he's talking about. I don't think it's very clear because he liked Julian doing all that shit to Hillary or whatever. And Snowden, I don't know which one is, I know which one I guess I would prefer if I like, one over the other, but they're both goddamn heroes. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Donald, let's hear what Donald has to say.
I could have done it, but I will say you have people on both sides of that issue, good people on both sides, and you have some bad people on one side.
Yeah, he said that about the Civil War too, right? Confederate, slave-owning pieces of shit. Not just fighting for white supremacy, but a racist, totalitarian system. Yeah, good people on both sides, right, Donald? Good people on both sides of the Civil War. Good people on both sides of the World War II. Talk about being on the wrong side of a holy war. That's an American holy war.
But I decided to let that one ride, let the courts work it out.
I want to ask you, in terms of talking about this corruption, by the way, name that comes to mind.
Just let it ride. Just let it ride out. So there you go. The ex-president, everybody. The ex-tweeter in chief. The ex-tweeter. Remember the old crazy tweeter? That old crazy tweeter. I'm actually very glad that we're not going to blow up the world. I'm glad that we're not faced with nuclear catastrophe, by tweet. Hey, man, why'd you blow up the world? He wrote a mean tweet about me. He was being mean. So why didn't Donald Trump pardon Julian Assange or Edward Snowden or drop the charges? Motherfuckers. And for every goddamn moment that this shit carries on is a fucking moment of injustice. Edward Snowden basically is Jesus Christ. He died for our goddamn sins, right? He's living in fucking Russia. Has to establish his entire life in another motherfucking country. Why? Because he was the only American, NSA contractor that told us the goddamn truth. What? There's one of the goddamn NSA contractors that told us the truth. He needs to get out to Russia. Get him out to Russia. Assange, Snowden, these are motherfucking heroes. They're motherfucking heroes. Of course, and Candace Owens, she understood, right? Which one? Does he say, well, they're different. One's a spy deal and one's exposing corruption. So one's good and one is bad? And then the one that exposed real corruption, why didn't you pardon him? Just let the courts, let it ride out in the courts because, so much truth and justice comes out of our court system. So much truth and justice. Yeah. Ask goddamn Jesse Ventura. Ask Nicole Brown, Ron Goldman. Of course, Candace Owens understands that he likes one more than the other. Yeah, I understand, Mr. Trump. I understand your very ambiguous and vague thing that you just said. Yes, that ambiguous and vague thing you said. I get it. It's clear as mud. I understand it is. It's clear as the Trinity. You understand the Trinity? Because you're so smart. because you're intelligent. Of course, one person can be three people, and three people can be one. I mean, me and Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, we're all one. But then also like Fred Hampton and Frederick Douglass and MLK, and both Julian Assange and Edward Snowden are motherfucking heroes. If anything, they should be the ones running the NSA. They're the ones that should be... Motherfucker. Let the courts figure that out. Good people on both sides. Oh, yeah. Good people on both sides. So, there's good people on Hitler's side. What about Anne Frank? Yeah, America got there too late. Waited for Anne Frank to get syphilis, and then she died in the concentration camp. 2 months too late. Good people on both sides of the Nazi takeover of Germany. Fuck you. Fuck you. So we've already figured this shit out with the Thezinger case. In the Thezinger case, you had John Peter Thezinger. This is back in 1733. So in America, 1733, New York City, you got this German printer who's being overly critical of the colonial governor, William Cosby. So there's Cosby. And he was being criticized. How dare you criticize William Cosby? John Peter Thezinger, he did criticize William Cosby. Thezinger printed how William Cosby fought with the colony council for a higher salary. He and the Supreme Court, William Cosby and the Supreme Court didn't get along, so William Cosby, there's corruption. He removed the Supreme Court Chief Justice Lewis Morris and put his guy in there, James Delancey. And John Peter Thezinger had the nerve to criticize him over wanting more money from the taxpayers and removing the Supreme Court Chief Justice and putting his own guy in there. How dare him? It all sounds like, kind of typical political bullshit, and you shouldn't be doing that kind of shit. But should John Peter Thezinger not have criticized William Cosby? Well, he's going to go to jail for 8 months. John Peter Thezinger is going to go to jail for 8 months. He's arrested November 17th, 1734. And a grand jury refused to indict him. But the Attorney General, Richard Bradley, took it upon himself, charged him with libel in August 1735. Zinger's lawyers, Andrew Hamilton, William Smith Jr., successfully argued that truth is a defense against the charges of libel. So, hey, he said that thing that I didn't like. He said that thing that I didn't like, and it's not nice. Was it true? Well, yeah, but, he should have said it. It took Americans 10 minutes to deliberate. A jury of John Peter Zinger's, a jury of his peers, it took 10 minutes to deliberate, came back with the verdict, not guilty. Not guilty. So John Peter Thezinger should have been paid for those 8 months. He went to jail for 8 fucking months. He fought for the freedom of the press and freedom of the speech. So we don't have to figure this shit out no more. In fact, Colorado law, this is from the Constitution. 1876, they said that the truth is a defense for a libel or slander charge. Truth is a defense for a libel or slander charge. So you have Article 2, Section 10. Article 2 is the Bill of Rights for Colorado. Section 10. No law shall be passed impairing the freedom of speech. Every person shall be free to speak, write, or publish whatever he will on any subject, being responsible for all abuse of that liberty. And in all suits and prosecutions for libel, the truth thereof may be given in evidence, and the jury, under the direction of the court, shall determine the law and the fact. So, truth thereof may be given in evidence. Can I talk about the truth? No. This is a court of justice. No truth is allowed in this room. So, this says you have free speech, free press. Yeah, they can come after you for libel, but you can defend it because it's the truth. The truth is a defense for libel. The truth is a defense for slander. So the John Peter Thezinger case, right, 1734, Colorado law, It's kind of common sense, frankly. It's common goddamn sense, and it's correct. It's correct. Yeah, William Cosby, yeah, he, wanted more money. And then when John Peter Zinger says, hey, he just cares about himself and he only wants more money for himself and he doesn't, he's correct to criticize him on that thing. And he's like, wait a second, just because I was being a selfish prick and wanting to take taxpayer money for my own private gain, that doesn't mean you get to write about it. Doesn't mean you get to say, actually, goddamn William Cosby, it does. So John Peter Zinger, American hero, a German, right? A German American. Didn't know, America's ways. It was like, I'm just going to print the goddamn truth. And there's like, go to jail for 8 months. Oh, what's his face? Went to jail for speaking out against the war in Canton, Ohio. Eugene Debs. America. I thought we had free speech. Not if you criticize Woodrow Wilson during World War I. The progressive, by the way. The progressive Woodrow Wilson. Progressive as, he's as progressive as goddamn George Washington was. So Donald Trump, right? He's going to sit there and say that he don't even know who goddamn Julian Assange is. WikiLeaks. Who the hell is WikiLeaks? Who the hell is WikiLeaks, huh?
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
I don't know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing. Which is it, motherfucker? Do you not know about it, or is it not your thing? Because those are two different things. In fact, one contradicts the other. That was a contradiction. That was hypocrisy in the same goddamn thought, in the same goddamn sentence. It's not your thing. It's not my thing. Bro, it's not my thing. And I don't know WikiLeaks. And it's not my thing because I know WikiLeaks and it's awful. It's not my thing. It's not what I'm into. The truth and justice and publishing and internet. Nah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know WikiLeaks. And I do know WikiLeaks and it's not my thing.
Looks like Bernie got a little bit of a bad deal based on WikiLeaks, right? They want to distract us from WikiLeaks. It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks. And all you have to do is take a look at WikiLeaks and just see what they said about Bernie Sanders. Even Chelsea Clinton, the WikiLeaks email show, expressed serious concerns about conflicts of interest at the Clinton Foundation and the State Department. I know there is something having to do with Julian Assange. I've been seeing what's happened with Assange, and that will be a determination, I would imagine, mostly by the Attorney General, who's doing an excellent job. So he'll be making a
Jeff Sessions.
I know nothing really about him. It's not my deal in life.
Yeah, it's not his deal in life, motherfucker. Truth, justice. He doesn't understand that kind of shit. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And so, him saying that he doesn't understand this shit, motherfucker, what a piece of shit. What a fucking... It's not his deal. You don't know nothing about WikiLeaks. We only got 15 clips of you saying you know WikiLeaks and you love them. You shouted WikiLeaks. I know nothing about it. I love WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. What a great organization. I've never heard of them. WikiLeaks, run by Julian Assange, the CEO. I know nothing about it. I love them. I love them. So which is it, motherfucker? Jesus Christ. So we've already adjudicated this whole goddamn thing. Truth is a defense, for libel or slander. We know Donald's a goddamn, liar. He's not on the side of goodness and peace and truth and justice. That's not Donald's deal in life. Come on now. Truth, peace, love, justice? No. Obama, they commuted Chelsea Manning's sentence. Chelsea Manning was going to go to fucking jail for 30-something years. And then Pasta, I heard that he was talking about something, he only mentioned that Donald pardoned Lil Wayne's gun charge. Which I think is okay with me. He's touring the country and he had a pistol with him? Who gives a shit? I guess, but Donald Trump is going to pardon him, right? Pasta criticizes Donald on that. And then the Fiorella acts like, they say he's a fascist or what have you. Donald didn't side with Edward Snowden. Donald didn't side with Julian Assange. That's fascist as fuck. A fascist wouldn't give a shit about truth and justice. That's not my thing. What is your fucking thing? Being an asshole and talking a bunch of bullshit? Just fucking lying? Just saying whatever you think that the people want to hear? Just being a fucking bullshit liar nonstop? Fucking liar. Goddamn lying motherfucker. But Donald Trump didn't just, pardon Lil Wayne. He also pardoned Jack Johnson. So he pardoned some, good folks. So thank you, Donald Trump, for pardoning Jack Johnson. But Donald Trump didn't pardon Julian Assange, didn't pardon or drop the charges on Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. And then he's going to go ahead and pardon those Blackwater security guards. The Blackwater security guards that just went around, turkey shooting. Just having a good old time doing a little turkey shoot, shooting people that didn't deserve to be shot at. So I thought I had this pulled up here, but keeps on throwing me off a little bit.
Of this rather unspectacular intersection.
So they talk about the Blackwater shooting, and there is a video that I saw a long time ago, and it's hard to pull up. There was a clip of something. I don't know if it was the Blackwater shooting, but it seemed like it was. But Donald Trump pardoned those war criminals. You want to talk about a Nazi fascist motherfucker? Okay, Donald Trump. So I'm driving through Donald Trump's, neighborhood, and Donald Trump is just peacefully driving in his car, and there's Blackwater security going around shooting up everybody, and they killed 14 Iraqi civilians. So they murdered 14 Iraqi civilians. If that's, Donald or anybody that he likes or loves, he's going to have a problem with that. Thou should not murder. Thou should not murder. And the 4 Blackwater security contractors, they were convicted by a bunch of hardened military men. Men that were out there in the fields with them. Military men. We love the troops, right? So when the troops point to one of their own and they say, yeah, that's a criminal piece of crap right there. So 14 Iraqi civilians, 2007 represents more than failed leadership. His exoneration of American war criminals makes the jobs of U.S. service members harder. They just went for a joyride. It was a turkey shoot. It was sick. The fucking video was sick as fuck. They were just sitting in the back and just shooting and saying, what's up, running into cars and shit. Shooting at anybody and everybody on the streets just for the fuck of it. That's what we're doing in Iraq. That's how we're winning hearts and minds. No wonder there's 1 million dead and nobody talks about it. No wonder there's 1 million dead and for what? Freedom and democracy? Is that what freedom and democracy looks like? Nicholas, Slayton, Paul, Slough, Evan, Liberty, and Dustin Hurd. So Nicholas, Slayton, Paul, Slough, Evan, Liberty, and Dustin Hurd went around shooting and killing, 14 Iraqi civilians. They served in the U.S. military in separate tours, but they were there with the private contractor. And 14 out of the 14 Iraqi civilians, several were children. So Nicholas, Slayton, Paul, Slough, Evan, Liberty, and Dustin Hurd are going around killing children. Killing... And you can't see the fascism in Donald Trump. You can't see the fascism in any of the goddamn imperialist presidents. What about the fascism of this one? We still got wars going on all over the goddamn place. We got out of Afghanistan. Well, why? Iraq would have been okay. We could have left Iraq without there being a vacuum and everything falling apart. But how can you not see the fascism in Donald? He don't give a shit. You got Nazi stormtroopers going around just killing anybody and everybody. So somebody's just going for a stroll along the street to go get some damn groceries. Somebody's driving to work at some dead-end job that they fucking hate. They're buying groceries for their family. They're going to go, visit their grandparents or something. And now their brains just got blown out. Just driving along the damn street, just got their brains blown out. And Donald's going to pardon the guy who did the fucking murdering. Do you not know right from wrong, Donald Trump? You had this Rohel in A Cuban immigrant in Colorado that got a 110-year sentence for the accidental deaths of 4 folks in Colorado. Rohel got a 110-year sentence for the accidental deaths of 4 folks in Colorado. Accidental deaths. He's driving a semi, brakes went out, didn't know what to do, didn't want to drive off to the thing, but kind of just ran through traffic. He's going to live. 4 people are going to die. So Rogel gets a 110-year sentence for an accidental, 4 folks accidentally dying. You know what Rogel didn't do? He didn't drive on a street with a goddamn assault rifle and a tank going around shooting people up and laughing about it. He didn't go around murdering people. 14 people were murdered. So if you think the accidental death of 4 folks deserves 110 years, what do you think the person who causes 14 deaths intentionally deserve? 14, that's, more than 3 times the amount of 4. So that should be a 330-year sentence, right? Before the deep state was the enemy of Trump, now Donald Trump is covering for the deep state. Julian Assange is a high-tech terrorist, and Edward Snowden, he's he jaywalked one time, or I don't know. When you don't pick sides during a crisis of situation, when you maintain your neutrality during periods of moral crisis, you've chosen the side of the oppressors. You've chosen the side of the terrorists. You've chosen the side of the criminal motherfuckers. You just saw a bunch of Nazis kill Anne Frank and you just sat there and watched them? And then what? Put your head down and hope that they didn't shoot you and then said, hey, I didn't know her. I didn't know anything. I had nothing to do with her. Instead of saying, you know what, that ain't right. Maybe we should have some kind of system where we have justice as the main aim. So what should have happened? What should have happened? In America, right, this Rogel's going to get a 110-year sentence. So he's driving a semi, brakes goes out, he has this horrible accident. The prosecutor looks at the situation. They got the piece of information, so they take the piece of information and they say, we're going to try to convict you with this piece of information. That's all it takes. Piece of information is a complaint, begins the whole goddamn system. So a cop says, person A did, so-and-so. The entire system goes along with it. The prosecutor's on board. We're spending money to get this goddamn conviction. There's been an accusation. Did he have any proof? Nobody had some information. Was probable cause established? I'm not sure probable cause was established or not, but I got some information. Just a cop accusation and a capture is all it takes to get a prosecutor to prosecute. So, just information about a crime. So when collateral damage was released, when the Blackwater footage was released, you didn't just have a piece of information, you had videotape, motherfucker. You had, evidence which is better than eyewitness testimony, it's better than a written statement, it's videotape. You can't argue with videotape. Now, technology is getting better, so people with some money might be able to do some shit. But in order for the prosecutor to prosecute, all you need is a piece of information. And since you got videotape, you saw the damn murder for your fucking selves. So what should have happened is when the Blackwater people were going around killing 14 people, they should have been arrested immediately. There should have been a trial immediately right there in Baghdad. And it should have been the Baghdadi people that actually did the thing, ran the jury and did the whole thing. You're in our country going around doing this shit. Let's see what the Baghdad people think about. Americans can forget about the 14 Iraqis who were killed by Blackwater. Americans will forget about the 9 Iraqis killed by those Apache helicopter pilots. When it came to the collateral damage, what should have happened with that is the Apache helicopter pilots who murdered 9 Iraqi people, 2 journalists, 2 kids were injured, and none of that's a crime. Nobody sees anything wrong with that. None of that's a goddamn crime. In fact, it's not the murder. It's not the murder of innocent people. It's not the innocent bloodshed spilled. It's not the kids being injured, and it's not just an attack on press freedom. They murdered the fucking press. They killed the journalist. What, you're going around taking pictures of shit? You're writing stories and shit. Well, you deserve to die. How's that American? Do we not have the right to free speech and the right to press and right to bear arms and right to peacefully assemble? Is those just a bunch of fucking words? Just a pile of words, huh? Our freedoms are just a pile of words? We're over there giving them democracy, so what the fuck? And in democracy that functions, you can't have murderers going around murdering people. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what they did to Johnny Hurley? There was a murderer going around murdering people, and he shot and killed the guy. And the cops came on the scene, and they shot and killed Johnny Hurley. These people are not human. They're not men. They're fucking psychos. And they get away with murdering innocent people. Thou shalt not murder, motherfuckers. Isn't that like one of the worst, if not the very worst? And then what about the, white privilege? Well, I mean, this is just a crazy, bizarre fucking world. What a bizarre world we fucking live in. The motherfuckers that going around killing people, no. 9 Iraqis got killed, 2 kids injured, 2 journalists murdered. And you want to find out, where did Julian Assange get that video? How did he get that video? Bradley Manning? Send him to jail for 30 fucking years. Why? Because he exposed a crime. He exposed a murder. So if Julian Assange and Bradley Manning, Chelsea Manning, were the commanders, if they were the president, and they saw wrongdoing, and they were the prosecutor, and they had power, they were in positions of power, instead of being good, innocent citizens saying, here's a crime, something should happen, they were in a position of power to make sure it did happen. They wouldn't have to, tell you jack shit. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and prosecute these guys. They murdered a bunch of innocent people. So we're going to go ahead and we got the piece of information. We could do the indictments. We could do whatever it is. Get this criminal justice system rolling. Get some depositions. Let's get the disposition and the preliminary hearing. And let's have the pretrial readiness conference. Let's get your motions. And for the motions hearing, make sure you got the arraignment. Make sure there's a summons. And you don't even need an indictment. Just information. Just he said, she said. He said, she said. Good enough for me. What, you wrote 4 fucking pages? Sorry. So yeah, that's what should have happened. In America, a cop will just say, Tupac, you did a jaywalking, and arrest him. And then the whole damn system will say, well, you shouldn't have been jaywalking. And they'll give the prosecutor the benefit of the doubt. And then they'll look at the case in the best light of the prosecution. So they're siding with the prosecution to begin with. You're innocent until proven guilty? No, you're not. If you're siding with the prosecution to begin with, then you are... And how do you prove innocence? You just murdered those people, so you're innocent? Alibi. But you just killed 9 Iraqi people. You just injured 2 kids, and you just killed 2 journalists. And I'm supposed to sit there and tell you... The messenger. The messenger's the problem. That's what you're telling me? Donald, the fucking messenger's the fucking problem? He don't even know about WikiLeaks, but he knows about WikiLeaks. Try to find those Blackwater videos online. They're fucking, it's not good, but it's a good reminder of how sick that motherfucking shit is. Imagine somebody just driving through your neighborhood, shooting up the fucking neighborhood. And nobody charges, nobody says that's a crime, Jesus Christ. If you think about the inconsistencies of the damn thing. But for Apache helicopters, for Blackwater, either a military court or a civilian court ran a charge of negligent murder, first-degree murder. 14 innocent Iraqis got killed on the one. 9 innocent Iraqis got killed on the other. That's a mass murder. That's a mass shooting. That's serial killing. That's serial killing. And instead of motherfuckers saying, you know what, mass murder and serial killing is bullshit, 1 million dead, that's genocide. Instead of people saying that that's wrong. And I guess that's how you prove your innocence, huh? You don't even get the charge to begin with. We see it on video. We see that you murdered the motherfuckers. And we're going to pretend that you're innocent because we want to keep our heads in the fucking sand? Because you're on the side of Nazi stormtroopers, and Nazi stormtroopers went around killing a bunch of people, and you don't know right from wrong, and you're scared of the goddamn authorities, so instead just, well, I'm sure they had a reason. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they're just wicked motherfuckers. Just taking sadistic pleasure in killing a bunch of fucking people. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that Donald Trump pardoned war criminals. He pardoned Blackwater security motherfuckers going around killing a bunch of people. He doesn't know right from wrong. Why didn't he pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden? Because he's not on the side of truth and justice and righteousness and peace. He's not with the American people. You had an American hero who stood up. Well, that takes the limelight away from Donald. He's a liar who's just telling you what you want to hear. So, anyways, that's some bullshit. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not murder.